Yes, people, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. Welcome to this Sunday's Transfer Talk Live at 5. How do you take that one? Right on time this week. How about that for you? Buongiorno, everyone. Buongiorno. Not gonna lie, stole that one off Norman there. Seen it in the comments. Thought I'm going to use that right away. Buongiorno. Yes, people. Hope you're having a good weekend. Happy Sunday, everyone. Good to see us all tuned in already. Over 100 people in from the off. Love out like that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and give it a big thumbs up. As Havoc says, we have a action-packed show on your hands today. We really do. We've got loads and loads to get through. Obviously, Harvey Barnes has been announced 2 hours ago now, is it? Around 3 p.m. He was officially announced by the club, and he is already over there in the US of A. He's touched down in Philadelphia. He's done an interview for the club. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the club statement. We'll talk about his potential debut tonight. He's set for a debut tonight already, midnight our time, 7 p.m. American time. Newcastle United play Aston Villa in the first game of the summer series. In a week that sees them come up against Brighton and Chelsea as well. Chelsea beating Brighton yesterday at 4-3. So there's loads and loads to get through. There really is. You can see on the bottom of your screen as well the other news that's floating about Newcastle. You know, now Barnes is in. Now Tonali's done. It's who's next. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, we knew yesterday. Big news yesterday was that Tino Livramento, a bid of £30 million, was rejected by Southampton. We're going to talk all about that. Lewis Hall of Chelsea, the young left back, also linked with a move to Newcastle. And of course, now that Barnes is done, it's a matter of time before Alan St. Maximin's move is done to Saudi Arabia. He's been having a medical over the weekend to seal his deal over there at Al Hilal. So, Al Ali, one of them. So there's loads to get through. There really is. And as always, make sure you're getting your comments in. We'll go through all the comments as usual as well. A bit crack is on there. Let's have a look what people are saying from the top. Jan, I did this morning at 9 to Tony. His platform you will watch doing Barnes tonight. Yeah, Barnes could be playing tonight. What's this one from John who's in a lot? Sorry to hear that, mate. Yeah, rest in peace to Mark there. Sad news, mate. Sorry about that one, John. Hope you're doing okay, fella. He's always in the chat as well, John. So yeah, mate. Hope you're all well and rest in peace to you, mate. Sad news, man. What else are you saying as well? Then Harvey Barnes. Everyone's always talking about Barnes. Perfect timing, says Jimmy. All right, thank you, Jimmy. Perfect timing this week. None of last week. No 5:34 like last week. All right, we're doing good this week. We're doing good. We've got it set up nicely. We've got everything ready. Afternoon, everyone. Nice to see people paying tribute to John's mate there as well, Mark, who has passed away. Buongiorno, Joshua. Even Matty, get up Barnes. That Saudi jet was working overtime to get Big Joe over. Joe Linton has now also joined up with the Mags over there in America. His visa has been approved after obviously he didn't fly with the rest of the group due to the old drink driving ban that he suffered a few months ago. But Joe Linton, the GOAT, is now over there. And speaking of Joe Linton, right, we have to just get this out of the way. 4 years ago today, Newcastle United signed Joe Linton. 4 years ago today, nearly £40 million was spent on him, looking like the worst bit of business in the history of football, has turned into the greatest comeback in the history of football. You know what I mean? That turnaround from Joe Linton is unprecedented. Listen now, 4 years later, he's scoring and playing for Brazil. He's one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. I can't finish that sentence without laughing because it's just mental to think that. I mean, he came here 4 years ago on a big price tag. Not many people knew that much about him. It was like, well, that's a bit of a dodgy Mike Ashley deal, isn't it? He doesn't spend that much money, and two, why is he worth that much coming from the Bundesliga? But listen, Joe Linton has been amazing the past 2 years. Obviously, he was flopping big time under Steve Bruce, but everyone was. And now he's thriving and he's unreal. So 4 years, happy 4-year anniversary to J7 at St. James's Park. Well said, Geordie's at St. James's Park. Please do press the like button, lads and lasses, while you're here. Much appreciated. Adam, are you going to watch the game? I think so. It's midnight, so it's a late one. So I think we'll at least try and watch the first half. Do you know what I mean? If it's a typical pre-season game, and there's not much action, then we'll sack it off. But if it's going well, I mean, tell you what, that Chelsea-Brighton game, I've seen the highlights from that yesterday, the 4-3. That was quality. But first half against Rangers was very good. Then second half was very much a friendly game, loads of changes. So I think we've got to tune in, haven't we? It's on Sky Sports at midnight. You guys can be asked to stay up for it. But obviously, there's normally a lot of people from around the world in this live show as well. So let us know what time zone it'll be for you lot for watching Newcastle United today. There's regulars on this channel who are from Australia all over, who are always watching Newcastle United at daft o'clock in the morning. So it's like a bit of them normally, isn't it? We're feeling like we're overseas because of the time difference over there in the States. So it's 7 p.m. for Newcastle United over there, but for us Geordies in Newcastle, it is midnight. People are asking about the game again. It's on Sky Sports at midnight. Loads of salty Leicester fans blaming him for going down now. How can you blame Harvey Barnes when he was the top scorer? Surely he's the last person you do blame. Do you know what I mean? That makes zero sense. Blaming Harvey Barnes when he scored 13 goals and he was your top goal scorer. Without his goals, you would have been relegated by Christmas. So we'll have less of that, please, Foxes. You don't know what you're talking about. Obviously, just upset. And to be fair, right, they've lost one of their own. Harvey Barnes has been playing for Leicester since he was 9 years old. You know, he spent 15 years there. He grew up there. He's lived there. This is the first time he's moved anywhere but Leicester in his life. He says he loved it when he came up here and had a look around the other week. So for me, yeah, they've lost one of their own, but they've got 40 million for him. Listen, the deal is the Sky Sports are reporting it for around 39. Ben Jacobs and stuff, the journalists are saying, you know, it's 40 rising to 43. So let's just call it 40. And they've got good money for Harvey Barnes, and that can really help Leicester get promoted. They can use the 40 million from Barnes and the 50 million from Maddison, 45 million from Maddison from Spurs, and they can get 5 or 6 decent players that can help them get promoted. So they should be thanking us, if anything. You know what I mean? They should be really praising us and saying, thank you so much, Newcastle, that we have a chance of getting promoted now. That's what they should be doing, my opinion. Do you know what I mean? Now they've got a chance to come back up. Sign your Connor Cody's, sign your Harry Winks, sign another striker or something since Vardy's 57 years old, and you might have a chance to come back up, thanks to us. So you're welcome, Leicester fans. You are welcome. Watched Lewis Hall last season, absolute baller. He is, and we will talk about Lewis Hall. You'll see that on the bottom of your screen now. Lewis Hall is a topic for discussion tonight. There's Newcastle United are in talks for a young left back, according to Pete Graves at Sky Sports, and it's linked that it is Lewis Hall from Chelsea. So more on that in a minute. Loads of people in the chat. What's happened to Tierney from Arsenal? Says Martin. It's went quiet, hasn't it? The Tierney one, it has went quiet. In terms of Kieran Tierney, and Eddie Howe is a big fan, but I think it's the price valuation as well. Even though 30 million rejected for Tino Livramento, Arsenal won around 30, 40 for Kieran Tierney. And now you're hearing that Tierney actually prefers a move back to Scotland. He wants to potentially sign for Celtic. So I think Tierney will move later on in the window, whether that be Newcastle or Celtic or elsewhere. Remains to be seen, but it's been a bit quiet on that as Newcastle focus on a deal for Southampton's right back Tino Livramento, which again we will talk about soon. Let's get through the initial comments and then we'll talk about Barnes, and then we'll get into all the other stuff. Tell you what, this Barnes is going to be especially 20 plus goals for me. He can only improve on already. How big shout that 20 plus goals, but I like it. I like that one. I think he's going to be class. I think he's a really underrated signing. I think, you know, I've said it before, just because he hasn't got a fancy name, just because he's not Harvey St. Barnison, people are just, you know, scared of it, thinking, oh, you know, who's Harvey Barnes? Sounds like he was from the fruit and veg aisle at Tesco. You know, he's got nothing extravagant about him. He's very normal. I really liked his interview. You know, he was really humble in it, and he was saying some good things, and he seems like a really sound, down-to-earth bloke. Because he's not walking in the interview with a Gucci headband and he's flashes out and he just step over us, people are like, oh, not sure about him. 40 million. I'm telling you, he's going to be class. He's Premier League proven. And under Eddie Howe, he's going to become an England international. There you go. How's that for a statement? Harvey Barnes will become an England international under Eddie Howe. I'm telling you now. Willock's on the verge of it. If he keeps fit, he's surely on the verge of a call-up. Harvey Barnes does have one cap to his name. And for me, he's only going to get a lot better. And I'm really happy with the sign. I think he brings a lot down that left-hand side. He's very direct. 13 goals last year. Yes, St. Maximin on his way out, but listen, Harvey Barnes, scored more last season than Alan St. Maximin did in his entire Premier League career. Harvey Barnes scored 13 goals last season. Alan St. Maximin has scored 1 goal in his last 46 games. That is meant 1 in 46 for Alan St. Maximin. Harvey Barnes scored 13 last season in a team that got relegated. Maxi couldn't even get a start. Do you know what I mean? Whether that be through injury or form. You know what I mean? So I think that tells you a lot for me. And Harvey Barnes, he can really cut in. His goals vary. He likes to give a 1-2 and get on the end of it and put it in the opposite corner. He can shoot from range. He scored 3 goals from outside the box last season. I think it's a really, really solid signing. I'm really happy with that signing. I know it doesn't set the world alight, and he's not going to get you off your feet as much as Alan St. Maximin, but what he will do is have more end product than Alan St. Maximin. He will win you more points than Alan St. Maximin. And points win prizes. That's what we're here for. Yeah? Points get you up the table. Points get you there. I was going to say points win your cups, but that'll be a massive lie because that's not how it works. With Champions League, group stages, we can use it in that term. Barnes has had European experience. Nice. Played in the Europa League with Leicester. More than Alan St. Maximin's ever done. Hope you're feeling better this week when you're doing the rocky steps. Thanks, Mark. I'm much better this week. Less of a stressful day. This one's been a nice day. It's been a nice weekend. All right. I'm not revealed yet what I've done with my weekend, but yesterday got dragged to the cinema. Have a guess what I got dragged to go see, people. And let me know how your weekend's going and if you've seen this particular film that everybody's raving about at the minute, particularly the opposite sex. But yeah, the Rocky Steps, when you're doing the Rocky Steps blog, unfortunately, I'm not in Philadelphia. As you can see, I'm still in Newcastle. Can't make the American trip. So that was a shame. But I did the Rocky Steps years ago. I was in Philadelphia in 2010. And I could probably get it up, actually. I'll get it on another video that I do where I can put it in. But I've been to Philadelphia in 2010. Great city, to be fair. So, yeah. I've already done it, mate. Been there, done that. Way before everyone else. This is one that isn't on the bottom of the screen, so we'll just touch on it now since we've got a comment. What about Axel Disasi update? Really interesting one for Disasi because Fabrizio Romano is still reporting that Newcastle are in talks with Axel Disasi, the young French centre-back of Monaco. And Keith Downey has rubbished those rumours and said it is completely agent-driven. He said he is not on Newcastle United's radar. And it's all being pushed out to the press from Disasi's end. So from Disasi's agent, representatives, they're all saying, Newcastle are in for him, Man United are in for him. Who else wants to come in for him? So, and then you've got, Keith, who I would believe a lot more, a local, Northeast correspondent with Sky Sports, a lot more than Romano on Twitter. Both very good journalists, obviously, but I'll go with Sky and Keith on this one. Like, if apparently we are not in for Disasi. And to be fair, if we're having to wait for Alan St. Maximin's money to come in to sign Harvey Barnes, or we're really going to spend 40 million on a right-footed centre-back? Maybe late in the window, maybe if Lascelles leaves, but wait and see. And by the way, talking about Jamal Lascelles, what a great press conference that was today that was released. Eddie Howe and Jamal Lascelles, where at the end of the press conference, Eddie Howe stuck up for Jamal Lascelles, the captain, who was getting loads of questions from the journalists saying, but what, you haven't been playing? How come you're still the captain? What you still doing here? And Eddie Howe grabbed the mic from Lascelles at the end of the press conference and just said, I'd like to say that Jamal's a brilliant captain, a real leader in the dressing room and all these sort of things. So that was fantastic to see. I'm very, very pleased about Eddie Howe for doing that, you know what I mean, and sticking up for Lascelles. So that was good. But yeah, Disasi, there's mixed reports on that one. Southampton fans saying Livramento deal done. Well, the thing is, and obviously we will talk about Livramento very soon, but we are still in talks with Livramento and Southampton. Class as always, mighty, keep it up. Thanks, Ian. Do you reckon Barnes and Gordon can play together, or are they separate options? I'd imagine separate options, Ian. Obviously, I think Eddie Howe will be focusing on rotating Isak and Wilson depending on what system he's playing. So you'll have one or the other on the bench. Both will be playing as a 9. And I think you'll see the same for Barnes and Gordon on the left. I think you'll see those rotate on the left as well. And then obviously you can mix it up. You can put Isak on the left, bring Wilson on, start them both, take one off, there's options now, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? There's options. And we've seen Gordon for England at the Euros under 21 this summer, the Euro champ. He played down the middle. He played as that false 9 all summer. So we've got a lot more options there, We've got a lot more options. Fuel for Maxi says Richard. Mate, he's getting paid a fortune, man. Didn't feel for him. Living the dream. When are we next going to see renting at Benton? So me at the training ground. Livramento, hopefully next week. I tell you what, if Livramento comes in, I'll get myself back at the training ground. You seem to really enjoy that video from the training ground the other day. The nice little exclusive footage of Harvey Barnes at the training ground and the little vlog of my day out there in the rain. So I'm glad you enjoyed that. It's doing well. So have a look at that if you haven't seen it already. And yeah, I think we'll go back to the training ground for the next signing. Why not? May as well get involved. Right. Daniel, did you not fancy heading over to America? I absolutely did fancy it, Daniel, but my bank account didn't. And another reason was, my brother's across from Australia. Hadn't seen him in a few years, and the timing of things just didn't work out. And then let's be honest, like we've got an expensive season ahead with these Champions League trips. So yeah, it is what it is. But we had a good time in Rangers last week, and next summer, with a bit more planning, we'll see where we end up for the pre-season trips. Some Premier League clubs complain about selling ASM to Saudi. Well, this is what it is. This is an absolute joke for me. It's a total piss take. You've seen it happen time and time again with other clubs. You've seen it happen. If Fabinho's going for 40 million, Henderson's getting paid nearly £1 million a week, and we can't sell St. Maximin for 30 million. It's just other teams whinging. It's not. I would understand if they were getting 100 million for St. Maximin. You'd be like, "Oh, that's a bit dodgy. That's not right, is it?" But 30 million is very much fair market value, and that's exactly what the Premier League regulations are. Does this represent fair market value, or is someone making an unhealthy and an unfair profit? And we're not. We're literally not. We're getting 30 million. It's not even that much. Fabinho, like I said, he's washed. He's done. He's going for 40 million. So what? We can't get 30 for Maxi. It's just bitter and jealousy. No doubt that'll be Daniel Levy at Spurs. That'll be Todd Bowley at Chelsea. What's going on here? Unlucky. It's happening. Do your rip. What else was saying? I did want to find one comment from someone, but there's that many comments coming in. That's hard to get through them all. It's hard to see them all. I was going to try and go down, but we'll go back to where I was and work my way down there. What else we've got? Big Joe with 60 million now. She's talking about Joe Linton earlier. Hendrick, Fraser and Darlow need to leave. Well, I tell you what, obviously Carl Darlow is set to leave. He did travel to the States, which I found quite surprising, but his move to Bournemouth is very much on the verge of happening, even though Leeds United are trying to hijack that deal and they want Carl Darlow as well. Darlow obviously played against, in pre-season for us as well. So Hendrick and Fraser, yeah, it's just how the hell do you get rid of Hendrick and Fraser? They'll end up going on loan again last minute, just to some championship team. We can't permanently get rid of them. It's a nightmare. And you think Jeff Hendrick's on, 50, 60 grand a week? Insane, man. Absolutely mental that Jeff Hendrick is still here. And robbing and living there that way, man. I'm staying up for the game. People staying up for the game. What we've got? Southampton are crazy, demanding 30 million for Livramento, who hasn't played much last season. Well, this is the thing, innit? I thought 30 million was a really reasonable offer. And for them to reject that is so surprising for me. Like you said, he hasn't started a Premier League game since April 2022. He hasn't started a game in over a year. He came back towards the end of last season, but that was just substitute appearances. Like for someone who's had a really bad long-term injury, it's still a risk. Like how would he come back from that? You'd think because he's young, he will be able to make a full recovery, and he has been playing for Southampton in all their pre-season games, but I don't know. Like I think 30 is spot on, and for us to still be in talks, we obviously really want Livramento. We really want it. Stephen, if you're showing, I'll not be doing a live watch along for this one tonight, Stephen. But I tell you what, we might do one next weekend. I think we're playing next Saturday, don't we, at midnight? So I'll probably do one then. We'll get a feel for it and see how many people are interested in that, because it's hard to judge it with it being at midnight. But on a Saturday, it may be better, because a Sunday, I think a lot of people are just going to be giving tonight's game a miss and watching the highlights tomorrow, considering the majority will have Graft back to Stinky Graft on Monday. Right, Harvey's absolutely class. Buzzing with a Bond signing, featuring them regular. Yeah, you know it. You know the score. Can we talk about Villa wanting Diaby, getting Diaby for half what they wanted from us? We can, Josh, and it's really weird, isn't it? To be honest, I mean, Diaby for what is it looking like? 50 million? I think that's a steal, me. Like, it's an absolute steal, and I'm just praying he's a flop because I can't be also watching him being that good at Villa every week. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a shame because obviously we've tracked him and wanted him for so long, and it just hasn't worked out this window. We've prioritised other things. You know what I mean? We've chose the likes of Tonali in midfield as more of an issue and a desire than Diaby on the right. So 50 million though is really, really good business for Villa. They've made some class signings, and you know they're going to be a threat. I'm telling you now, especially Unai Emery, top manager. And yeah, obviously them getting him for that when last summer, not just Newcastle by the way, Arsenal as well, were quoted 80 million for Moussa Diaby. 80 million last summer, and then this summer obviously another year goes by in his contract. Maybe Leverkusen need the money a bit more this year, need to bolster the squad, and they're happy to take the 50 million. Really good signing for Villa. Really, really good signing. Should we release Emil Kraft in this transfer window? Well, Emil Kraft himself is also come back from an absolute horror injury. I think we'll barely see him next year, and he is set to leave on a free in 2024. So I think he'll just leave next year on a free. Thing is with Kraft, you can let him rehabilitate, come back in a month or two, maybe use him in the Carabao Cup, in other cups, so if you need him, he can. He is versatile, and I feel for Kraft because he was woeful when he first signed, and I didn't expect anything. It wasn't like Joe Linton when he was 40 million and he was crap. You were like, what the hell we paid this for? We paid a few million quid for Kraft. In this day and age, that's peanuts. Less than peanuts. It's not even the pea. You know, it's not even a garden pea. So when you get Kraft and he was crap, it was like, well, yeah, I mean, what do you expect? Do you know what I mean? It's like buying a cheap loaf of bread for 20 pence reduced and you eat it a week later and you complain about it. You can't complain about it. It should be crap. It will be mouldy. You paid pennies for it. But Kraft, to be fair to him, he kicked on. He was class before his injury. He was really, really good. Gutted that he got injured. And, you know, I think he'll be able to stick around, and then you're not going to make a profit on him this summer, are you? Yes, he could get rid of his wages, but nobody's going to sign him. Nobody's going to sign him when he's had this. When he's not even fit. He's not even fit yet. Do you know what I mean? So no one's going to sign him. But I think we will keep him, and then he'll leave on a free next summer. Madison wanted the same for the tomb, but he priced himself out of the move. He did indeed. It was funny because was this Pete Graves again, or I think it was on Sky. He was saying, you know, he was talking to people that are very close to James Maddison, and they were telling him that Maddison really wanted that move to Newcastle, but you know, Newcastle wouldn't raise the asking price for him. They wouldn't meet it, and then him himself wanted more money. He wanted more wages, and he's went to Spurs. He's getting an extra 50 grand a week, an extra couple of $100 a month. And that's what he wanted. Then good luck to the bloke. You know what I mean? But he did want to come to Newcastle. It was his first choice. I said that all along, and he was destined to come here. I'm still surprised he's not here, but his mate Harvey can tell him exactly how good it is. And it'll be nice when Newcastle play Spurs next season, Barnes v Maddison. And I tell you what, if it's anything like last season, we'll be in for an absolute treat because we're battered Spurs, didn't we? In both of those games, not just the 6-1 at home, but away from home as well. We absolutely had them all over. So, yeah, we'll be good. Lee Soulsby, who's a member, thanks for being a member, Lee. We need to ship players out and get them off the wage bill. Refreshing. We do indeed, but it's a big issue that we've got at the minute. You know, it's the wage bill and getting these players like Hendrick and the rest of them off the wage books is a real problem. Like, and probably the best we can hope for is get them out on loan, and it's get Hendrick back to like a Redden who he's on loan at, and Hayden in Norwich like he was. You know, send these players out and get them off the wage bill. But ideally, we would accept anything at this point for these, and that's why we've sold St. Maximin, you know, because he's the only sellable asset we've got. No one else in our squad that we want to keep will be able to sell. So obviously you could get big money for Bruno, for Isaac, for Tonali now, for Botman, but obviously you want to keep these players. So you look around the team at who's not playing, how much are you going to get for these players? So you look at the bench, maybe you look at your Matt Ritchies, your Paul Dummates, we're not going to talk about Hendrick and Hayden, to be fair, because they weren't even in the team last year. But these fringe players, Jacob Murphy, who obviously did have a very good season. These players, and others, aren't gonna go for much money at all. So we're stuck. We're completely stuck. It's a nightmare that the club are facing. It really is. Got my phone there, by the way. If you think, why does he keep looking and scrolling there? I'm just going to be ready in a minute to read the statement. I'm aware we've been live for 26 minutes and we haven't talked. Well, we've dipped in and out because I like to get involved in the comments views. That's the whole point of the live show. If it was just me talking about things, then I may as well just pre-record it and release it. The whole point is to interact with you lot in the comments, get you involved, speak to the subscribers, and that's the whole point. So that's how these shows go on for ages, because we'll get lost in it. But there is nearly 900 people watching, so please, I want to see 900 likes. All right, now. Why aren't you giving it a thumbs up? It's free. Get it done. More importantly, subscribe if you haven't already. The subscribes have been flying up the past month or so that's amazing to see. It makes all the hard work worthwhile. So shout out everyone that is subscribed to the channel. Say hello. What do you realistically think the Toon will do this season? Win the Champions League. Win the Champions League. That's what. No, not really. I tell you what. Get out the group stages. Have a good run. Hopefully, get top six. Get top six. Keep the Premier League progression going. Get European football again. Whether that's Champions League, amazing. Whether that's Europa League, not bad. Absolutely buzzing for the Champions League again, though. That's the main thing for me next season. It's got to be on it. 20 years in the making since we've been there, and we've got to give it a real good go for me. And then obviously, dream would be to get to Wembley again and right the wrong from last year of losing that final. And there's nothing to say we can't do that just because we're in the Champions League now. I'm not going to write out at least the Carabao Cup, because the Carabao Cup, it's not many games to get the final, is it? What was it, 4 or 5 games during the final? The FA Cup is a lot harder because the draws are trickier, the opposition's stronger. Even if you're playing a lower league team, it's so difficult going to their grounds and their atmosphere and how much they're up for it, and the giant killings and all that. It's hard, but how do I think realistically do? I think top 6, Champions League. If we could get like a quarter final, how amazing would that be? I need to answer this question once the season starts. I think once the transfer window closes and we've had a few games, but more so when the group stages have been announced on the 31st of August, then we'll be able to say exactly how we're going to get on. MD Newcastle United fan from India. Shout out to all the Newcastle United fans over there in India. Barnes is a mint signing. Barnes is a great player. Seeing the value of our squad at 350 million seems a little undervalued to me. There was a question. There was a thing I got before Jack Reed, but I can't see it about the sign. But sees one there. What a belt of a goal! Yeah, well, one goal last season from Maxine, it was a belter, wasn't it? The one against Wolves. So to be fair, that was the thing with Maxi, wasn't it? There wasn't no easy goals. There wasn't no little performances. It was all or nothing on his half, wasn't it? It was all or nothing. What else we got? Let's scroll down. Over the moon, Bond Jamie looks excited for the challenge. He does I really liked his interview. He did look dead up for it. Right, and this is the thing. There's that many comments coming in. I'm catching up with what I was talking about 20 minutes ago. It's not ideal, but we'll get into the. I like to just make my way down, but then before you know it, it was long after it. But let's see if we can find that one before we go on to the next topic. Just quickly. Nah, I can't. We're gonna have to go back down. Don't want to get caught up in it. Talk about DRB, talk about all that. Let's get back down. So, as I said before, I was on about actually a couple of new members in the chat as well. Love out like that. Thanks very much for signing up. I'll bring you up in a minute. What midfield we have now? We do one of the best midfields in the league, I'm telling you. Right. Just to mention earlier in the chat, I did say who is having a good weekend. People that got dragged out the cinema yesterday to watch a certain movie. The guesses have been coming in for it. Paul, not Barbie man. Oppenheimer, Justin, Reese, Barbie. Nice emojis there from David on the Barbie. Kenzie, Barbie. Joshua, you definitely went to Barbie. Oh, did the Barbie movie come out this weekend? Did it? I wasn't aware of that one. Barbie coming out, wasn't sure. Barbie Bones. Barbie Matty. Yeah. One or two. Barbenheimer. I like it. That's a good one. I should have done that. Should have went and watched half and half. But yeah, 1 or 2 years might be right there about what I went and saw yesterday. Things you got to do, eh? Do you know what I mean? Barbie season, apparently. Apparently it's Barbie season. DeSarzi will end up with Villa now. Probably. Villa just seem to go after any player we're linked with. Villa are just straight in there. Do you know what I mean? Villa are just straight in there for whoever we've got. Simon says, Matty, you did the steps before Rocky did it. I did, like, to be fair. Rocky based the movie on me. I'll have you know. Tom was at the cinema yesterday, went to see Oppenheimer. Very good film, but long. Yeah, nice one, mate. Oh, that Oppenheimer does look good, like. Any truth in showing interest in Jeremy Doku from Lens? Now, this name has been linked with us a few times, hasn't it? Jeremy Doku, definitely someone Newcastle United scouts have looked at, you know, along the same lines as when we looked at Hugo Ekitike. I'm not sure how much Lens would want, though. I'd imagine a hefty fee. And Eddie Howe was actually asked about bringing in another another forward this window. And he was saying, look, we've got 2 great strikers in Isak and Wilson. Could we do with potentially one more for strength and depth? Yes, but there's no budget for it this summer. Eddie Howe said there's no budget to go and strengthen up front. So I'd be surprised if we get Jeremy Doku. I think if we've got someone in on loan, it could be done, you know, but we're not going to be playing. We're not going to be putting out the funds for a lot for a new striker, a new forward. And at the minute, another year of Wilson, see how he gets on. We'll probably wait for that one, I reckon. We could probably wait for that. But with the Champions League football and all, like, we are a bit late up front, I suppose, especially with Wilson's injury record. Lawrence, you're doing a great job. Thanks very much, mate. Appreciate that one. No, I promise, Kenzie, I did go to the cinema with my lass yesterday. I wasn't alone, even though, you know what I mean? If you wanted to go and see Barbie on your own at the cinema, enjoy yourself. Do you know what I mean? Enjoy yourself. Do what you want to do. What else we got? Thanks very much, Mark, for that one. Appreciate it. This is an interesting out there question, but different. Who do you think will score the first goal of the Premier League season? With it being against Villa, R5 kick-off, St James's Park, Tonali. I'm going for it. I'm going for a big one. I'm going Sandro Tonali. Yes, indeed. Sandro Tonali. First game, first goal in the Premier League for Newcastle. I'm going for it. But the sensible choice probably is Isak. Or even Harvey Barnes. Could Harvey Barnes open up his goal scoring account, you know? Lovely stuff, if that was the case. ASM we sold under value. He's worth 40 million, really. Who do you think will score more goals this season, Miggy or Barnes? Barnes. Oh, I don't know though. Miggy started pre-season well, and he scored 11 goals last year. Will Barnes take time to get to work with Eddie Howe and his system and his teammates? Nah, I'll still go Barnes. Yeah, I think so. You know how it is, when we were linked with João Pedro, I wasn't really a fan of it. I thought that was underwhelming. And I thought he's not worth 30 million. But then the more you look at it, if Brighton are breaking their transfer record for it, and he scored last night, I think it was just a penalty, but he looked good. I think he'll have a brilliant season, Pedro. And I think right now as well for Newcastle, if we could have brought him in, young, versatile, up front, swap him around, I think he would have been quality for us, João Pedro. Like, so it's all right. We'll get him off Brighton for 100 million in 2 years. Don't worry with it. Once we've sorted out FFP, we'll be splashing the cash big time. Got Antia from Leicester Fan Channel. Good stuff, mate. Good luck, Harvey. Only one of the players leaving I will miss. Hope we can kick on now. Well said. Well said. And nice one. Kraft, Mankiewicz need to go. We have another right back coming in. I think we should have tried for Raheem Sterling on loan. Chelsea get some of the sell-on clause for Livramento. Well, that's a big reason why they have rejected the 30 million Southampton, because a bit of that, a chunk of that goes to his old club Chelsea. So, that's the issue at the minute. Wait and see on that one. We'll talk more about Livramento in a minute. Just trying to get through all your signings, all your comments before we jump into the topics in depth. Hi, man. Do you think Barnes will be the last permanent signing? There's so many comments. I'm probably missing some. But shout out everyone that is in the chat. Loads of them. Absolutely loads of them. Yeah. Do you think Barnes will be the last permanent signing? Can't see the Livramento deal happening. Nah, Barnes will not be the last permanent signing. Definitely not. We will be getting, whether it be Livramento or another defender in, we will be signing another permanent signing, maybe even two. Yeah, maybe even two, but definitely one, I reckon. And then, like you've said there at the end, Stephen, utilise the loan market. I think we will get at least one in on loan. I think maybe a left back and a forward in on loan, potentially. But yeah, I don't think Barnes will be the last permanent signing. Adam's asking the same question. We need a left back. Do you think that Barnes will play the night, Matty? Says Taylor. We'll talk all about that soon. Would you not take a punt on Kyle Walker-Peters from the Saints? We got Bry. We had a good night on Tuesday, didn't we, Bry? Glasgow, Bet you're still rough from that, mate. But Kyle Walker-Peters, I would take a punt on him. Listen, I'd rather have Tino Livramento. I would. He would be my first choice. But Walker-Peters, he's not brilliant though, is he? I mean, I would take him. And I think Eddie Howe could obviously improve him, but I think we should be looking for better quality. I think the thing is with Walker-Peters, it's not a signing that we would make just to make it. Like Eddie Howe's wanting Tino Livramento, he's wanting players he can develop and keep for years, and who's ready but can improve. And Walker-Peters is one of those where he can improve, but I think he's got a bit of a ceiling, Kyle Walker-Peters, for me, and I think he suits like a mid-table Premier League team. Obviously, you got Lecco at Spurs and stuff, so I think for where we are now, top four, obviously wanting to stay in and amongst that, I'm not sure if Walker-Peters is good enough, to be honest. What is the beer of choice today, Matty? It is, Jim, Stella Artois Unfiltered. Not promoting this or anything. Wish I was getting free beer. Stella Unfiltered. Decent. It's nicer than the old usual Stella. It's nicer in a pint, though. Oh, I suppose pretty much everything is like, but it's got more of a flavour to it than... what was I saying? I'm trying to read comments and I just completely went brain dead there what I was starting with. It's nicer in a pint than it is in a bottle, but nearly every beer is. I was trying to read John's comment there about seeing Hendrick at Liverpool Station on his way to Everton. Well, Everton are signing some awful players like, Ashley Young and that, well old, getting him in. Wouldn't be surprised. But that would be a great move for Hendrick, like, to stay in the Premier League, though. But I'm not sure. This was a comment I was keeping in mind. TMC merch is Ruben. Yes, working hard on trying to get the Magpie Channel merchandise back up and running. It's been in the works this summer, just trying to get it done. Little time to get things really sorted out, because I don't just want to chuck it together. I want it to be good quality and get a proper delivery service up and running, because when I first did it a couple of years back, it was a right nightmare. I was doing everything. I was sending the bloody parcels out myself. Do you know what I mean? I'm not doing that anymore. I need like a website that does that for you. I need people to do that for us. So yeah, working on that. But the Magpie Channel merch will be coming back around again. You worry about that. Gary, who's a member, even though Buzz and Bonds have been announced, I think he's going to be fit right in. Denali, Bruno, Big Joe. Getting me excited now, Gary, when you mention those names together, like some ballers on the pitch right there. So many comments coming through. Glover, who is also a member. We'd love to hear your take on Jamal Lewis, Matty. He's another one stealing a wage at this club. To be fair, Jamal Lewis really should have got mentioned before when I said about shifting players on and how much can you really get for him, because we obviously signed highly rated Jamal Lewis for 15 million. You know, Jurgen Klopp wanted him, Northern Ireland international, and then he's obviously been terrible. To be fair, he's had terrible luck, but when he's had a chance, he's never really shined, has he? He's never really thought, oh, there's a player in there, or given some time, he'll come good. I've never really thought that about Jamal Lewis, and he played a couple of the games already this season, in the pre-season. To be fair to him, he's been played well out of position. He's been playing bloody left wing, pretty much. I mean, again, that Gateshead game, he missed a sitter, but you can't blame him because it's a defender playing as a bloody left forward. So Jamal Lewis, it's a big shame. I was raving about him when he signed because he had bags of potential. And it's just, I've seen Northern Ireland, he was good for them. So it's a shame, but it's time to cut ties. Well, you've got to cut ties on Jamal Lewis. Get rid of him. I'd take 5 million for him straight off. See you later. And we've got about 17 left backs at the club anyway. We don't need him. Even though the funny thing is, we're still trying to sign a left back because the other ones, well, Matty Target, I wasn't saying good enough, but they are. But Eddie Howe wants a new one. Champions League, do you know what I mean? But yeah, Jamal Lewis, he's never really going to cut the mustard for me, is he, at the club? So be good to sell him on. And he was in talks over a loan move to Watford, last I heard, last week. So hasn't been much developments on that, but we'll wait and see. What else we got? People talking about, obviously, before when I was asked what's the objectives for next season, I see a lot of people saying win a cup, top 5 get to Champions League. That's where you want to be. I take getting out of the group and top 4 now. Champions League again has to be minimum to grow the club. Win a cup, win a trophy. Yeah. Expectations of Rose. David, thanks very much for becoming a YouTube member. Appreciate that one, mate. Thank you very much. Top 3 is realistic, says Ulfa. Bounce me is no nonsense, run all day kind of player, up and down the pitch, box to box, perfect how kind of player. Wish Maxi all the best. Buy him back in 2 seasons. Just loan him back. We'll just loan Maxi back for a few months every year. Do you know what I mean? Get him on. John, thanks for this nice comment, mate. Cheers. Think Bonds is amazing sign as well. Loads of Deadwood listed here by Sync. Again, just looking at my phone for stuff. Got the statement ready and more stuff on Harvey Barnes there. But yeah, all those players. See you later. Well, Murphy, I think Murphy's been really good. I'll keep Murphy. This is an interesting one. I think this is probably for a topic on another video about the training sponsor on the training kits, and it's definitely a missed opportunity. But the thing is, they're just still trying to get a better deal, really. They realise that how much money you can make off them. Obviously, Salah giving us 25 million a year for front of shirt. They're trying to get a bit more for the training. A matter of time before Newcastle United's training ground is sponsored and named after something else, and the same on the training gear. You see it at Man United. They have different sponsors for the kits compared to the training jumpers that they wear pre-game when they're warming up. And you see Liverpool, AXA training ground. You know what I mean? Newcastle United will have this soon. There's a big way around FFP for more sponsors and to separate things. And I tell you what, though, I'm a fan of the sponsorless stuff on the training ground. It gives it a nice retro and authentic feel. Do you know what I mean? It gives you a nice feel. So, but I agree, it's a missed opportunity, and it's something the club are working on, though. Definitely next season we will have a training ground and training wear sponsor, I'm sure. A lot of people talking about, 5th for Champions League. I haven't looked into this, If someone can actually tell me what the crack is with fifth getting your Champions League. How come all of a sudden fifth gets your Champions League this season? It's something to do with, I'm sure, they're changing like the Champions League rules on like if you've played in the competition before and stuff like that. I don't know. I've read different things on fifth. Why and how does fifth get you Champions League football next season in the Premier League? But it's an interesting one. FA Cup win this season and fifth will be amazing. And quarterfinals of the Champions League. That would be unreal. That definitely would be unreal. That would be unreal. Thanks very much, Pete. Hi, Matty. Great channel. You think Tino will be played as a right wing and Trippier behind, or Trippier will go left back and Tino right back? You've nailed it at the end there for me, Brennan. What I see Newcastle doing is putting Trippier at left back and Livramento starting at right back. I think that's what we'll do. Listen, Trippier's played there before. England in the biggest of games. He's played at left back, done a job. He's getting older now. Trippier's 33 this September, 33. So people are talking about Livramento coming in for one for the future. Livramento is one for now. And Livramento isn't going to sign for us if he's not guaranteed first team football. He's turned down Chelsea. He could have went back to Chelsea. They had a buyback clause, and he said, "Nah, don't want to go to Chelsea. He's have screwed us over before. He's have sold us before. I want first team football." And he will not be coming to Newcastle to sit on the bench at his age as well, where he needs football to progress his career. He's not going to just sit on the bench. No way. So I could see us moving Trippier at left back, Livramento to right back. Big game. If you're talking Real Madrid in the quarterfinal, Trippier could come in at right back, put Burn or Target at left back, even though that's frightening the hell out of me thinking of Vinicius Jr. running it down Burn. But you know what I mean? In a big game, you could be having Trippier in that preferred position, Livramento, since he's still a bit young, play him, have him on the bench, and then have another left back in there, and then who knows, we might sign another left back anyway. So we'll wait and see. But that's how I understand that. I could probably see it going. Talking about training ground merch there, and they're not having the sponsor. Got Ian Brownlee saying TMC to sponsor training gear. I wish, mate. Tell you what, that would look lovely, that wouldn't it? That TMC there in the always get that wrong because it's the opposite way around. But that TMC in the middle of a Newcastle United shirt would look very, very sexy. But just a few million short of being able to sponsor the club, mate, unfortunately. But I think they should help out a local business. I'll speak to Amanda. We'll get it sorted. Matty, where can I buy a Newcastle United shirt, the Champions League badge on it? Doesn't give you. I don't know. I mean, I don't think you can online, which is a disgrace, to be fair, because there's that many people all around the world wanting the Champions League badge on. I only know you can get it from the club shop. That's where I got mine. Maybe there's an option soon if they get enough stock online. They should do. I mean, why aren't the club just selling them with it on? They'd make everyone would have bought one on, and there would have been an extra £8 so many times over if they had a shirt ready with the Champions League badge on. Everyone would have bought it. Everyone would have spent an extra £8 to have that Champions League badge on. So it's poor from whether it be Castor or whoever else that didn't have this ready, but they should be selling them now, ready-made online. So hopefully for you, Danny, and other mags that can't get to the club shop, they get it ready. Do you know what I mean? They have these options available for you because would sell it would make so many in sales, and it's just good for fans to have that option. Jimmy, when is the Amazon documentary due out? August. So not long, mate. A few weeks max. Probably be out this time next month, I would have thought. I think middle of August. It'll come out end of August. So yeah, a few more weeks until Newcastle United's Amazon documentary. Geordie Gazza became a member. Thanks very much for that, mate. And I've seen that. I think somebody was asking, Ian Joseph was asking, how do you become a member? So there is a link in the video description. It's the best and easiest way. Normally there should be an option on the YouTube homepage, but a video link in the description will where it says become a member. Click on that, and there you go. There's options for you to try. And along with the merchandise, the immediate plans I've got on the agenda for the channel is to really give back to the members. So we're going to be bringing in private live streams for the members, early released videos, and giveaways and things like that to members to thank you back for supporting the channel as well. So yeah, become a member by clicking the link in the video description. So have a look at that. Open up another tab or something, don't come off this stream. We've got nearly 1,000 people watching, so please do like and subscribe to the channel, at least if you haven't already. Thank you very much for spending your Sunday afternoon with me. It's been a good one. We've been going for 50 minutes, so it's flying. We haven't really delved into any of the topics. We've touched in and out of them, but we haven't actually went into them too much. We've still got Harvey Barnes' statement ready there on my phone to talk about. So, yeah, we'll talk about all them soon. Thanks very much to 2 new members. Bang, straight away there. Love that, lads. Thanks very much. Christopher Laidler, become a YouTube member. Thank you very much. And Gareth as well. Cheers, mate. Means a lot. Really appreciate that one. Thanks for becoming members, lads. Nice one. Let's go down. Mission Impossible was a shout for the trip to the cinema. Yes, Stu, I like this comment. Love it. You know the score, mate. You know the score. Should have had my hair slicked back again. Ken Stale. Shrimp on the Barbie. Good stuff. Barbecue. We're good, yeah. We're getting the good ones in. Right, let's work our way down. Good point by Dynamics Detailing. With Villa and Brighton looking good for next season, it's going to be crazy to see where the likes of Spurs and that finish. It is like it's. I think next season is going to be the most competitive season we've seen in a long time in the Premier League. Will Arsenal be pushing City again, or Liverpool going to be back if they need to make some signings? I mean, obviously they've got Szoboszlai and McAllister in, but they've let a few go, so they've got business to do. Man United beat Arsenal yesterday. It's only pre-season, but they beat them 2-0. If they sign a striker, are they in business? And then you've got Chelsea under Pochettino, and then you've got Brighton and Villa, like you've said, making good signings. It's going to be hard. And then, of course, you've got us. You know what I mean? You've got the main boys. I'm hoping we'll have dodged a bullet with Diaby. I really hope so as well. Really, really hope so as well. 2 tickets Salah Cup Saturday. Nice one, mate. Get the Ukrainian involved. We'll be doing fan cams for the Salah Cup as well. So we'll be there on the weekend of the 5th and 6th of August for the Salah Cup at St. James's. Really looking forward to that. Nice weekend of football. A few teams in action, including the women at St. James's. So good stuff. So I'm looking forward to that one. Fulham have just bought Wolves striker Jimenez, have they? I haven't seen that news, like. Well, we could have got in for Jimenez for $5.5 million. The other people are picking up on this. I tell you what, though, he has not been the same bloke, and understandably so since that awful injury, the head injury that he had. He just hasn't been the same striker at all. You can see it in him. His confidence and everything's gone. You can see he's a bit scared now on the pitch a little bit, you know. And it's a shame, like, because he was a great striker, wasn't he? He was a really good goal scorer, really big handful. I wouldn't have been that interested. I suppose for $5.5 million, you kind of gone wrong, can you? To be fair, like, but well, I mean, for $5.5 million as a target man, and for Europe coming off the bench and that, maybe it's not bad. And I guess Mitrovic is obviously forcing his way out of Fulham, isn't he? He wants that Saudi money, he wants that Saudi cash. He said he would never play for Fulham again. So yeah. Jimenez is a good replacement for Fulham, to be fair. But I tell you what, $5.5 million I would take him. What else we got? It's mental how many comments are coming in because I'm seeing things that I talked about 15 minutes ago. And there's that many comments to go through. Harvey was over the moon in his interview. Great stuff, and can't wait to get running. Do you think Barnes will be playing 90 minutes? Nah, I don't think he'll be playing 90 minutes. So they have said that he is available for his debut tonight, Harvey Barnes, in America, Newcastle versus Villa at midnight. They've said he is available for selection, and he said he's ready to play. To be fair, he's fitter than most of the Newcastle United squad because he did return to pre-season earlier with Leicester since they were in the Championship. Obviously, they started their season a week earlier. So he's had extra training under his belt. So Harvey Barnes could come in tonight. Will he play 90 minutes? I doubt it. Nah, he won't be playing 90 minutes. I don't think many people will play 90 minutes, to be fair. There'll be a lot of rotation. Although this one is for the Premier League Summer Series. There's a cup at stake here. Yeah? I want to get one over on Chelsea and that. So we'll see. But it'd be nice to see him make his debut. Let's go down these comments. Oh, it's just jump loads of them. Let's go back up. Hi, from Skinny Slim's Pub and the Oklahoma Maggies. Nice one, Alexander. Have to get yourself that pub one day. Skinny Slim's Pub. Any news on Crystal Palace centre back Mark Gahey or what's the other one? Joachim Anderson? Both too pricey, I reckon. Hendrick linking up with Dyche at Everton makes sense. I bloody hope so. To be fair, he was alright on a Dyche, wasn't he? So maybe like got a new member in there as well. Ian Joseph. He's found a way. He sorted it out. Nice one, Ian. Thanks very much for becoming a member, mate. Well, really appreciate that one. Nice one. What else we got? Oh, StreamYard need to sort these comments out, like, because it doesn't let you look through enough of them at one time. Right, we're back in business. Nearly. Well, oh, damn the mare, yeah. StreamYard's damn the mare. Let's go down to this one. I think it's because I clicked on Ian as the member right at the bottom. So let's go back up. Romano just tweeted about Olise from Palace, 35 million release clause. 35 million for Olise is decent, like. Really decent. Harrison Ashby is getting linked with a loan move to Swansea. I'd keep him on Tyneside personally. Yeah, well, Harrison Ashby will definitely be going on loan. Scored the winner against Rangers, but Ashby will be going on loan this summer. He won't be getting enough game time, so be a good loan spell for him. And somewhere like Swansea, a good championship club like that, will do him well. I mean, obviously we brought him in last year and he had that injury and it's a shame, but I think there must be something where they're just not ready for him. They're just thinking, Ashby's not good enough to step in at the minute, but a loan move might sort him out and give him some extra experience, There's the old Ian's comment before about TMC to sponsor training gear. That would be lovely. Wouldn't mind a bit of that. Aston Villa doing bits in the market. Are they direct competitors this season? They won't be far off, like. I think they'll have a really good season, Aston Villa. Well, I just hope the Albion that flops, do you know what I mean? Hope they do. Wow, there's just absolutely so many comments. Any merch who Matty moved down south recently want to represent? Aye, Jack, was saying before, the merch will be coming back. Apparently we are linked to Anderson, the Palace centre-back. We are linked with Anderson, the Palace centre-back. Right, I've got back up. But yeah, they're wanting 40 million for him. And again, it's just, we're going to spend that much this summer. Wait and see about that one, like. But rumours that Newcastle are in talks for a shorts sponsor. Well, Newcastle United Women did announce a new back of shorts sponsor today. They've signed up with Straight Line again. The Straight Line was sponsoring them last year, front of shirt. Now they are back of shorts. Loads of sponsor money coming in here. And the ladies have got, Stella in their strips just like the men. So, good stuff. What else we got? Do you think Barnes will take number 10 after USA? Someone was saying before that they reckon he's going to be number 15, Harvey Barnes. Wait and see. Now, no matter what he wears tonight, it doesn't really matter because they've still got weeks to sort out the squad numbers. They've still got weeks to sort out. They officially announce the squad numbers in a couple of weeks, so we'll wait and see. I think obviously it'll be decided once there's been a decent amount of ins and outs, Barnes number 15, someone's saying there again there. For the cash on why they've made 5th place to get Champions League, increasing how many teams are in the competition is why 5th gets Champions League. They're changing the whole layout now. Actually, I'm sure after this upcoming season, they're changing exactly how the Champions League works out. They're getting rid of the training, the group stages or something, or they're reducing them. I don't know. There was something mad. The format of the Champions League is changing. But we'll see. Evening, Tune Review Stato. I'm all good, mate. Hope you're well. Next signing, Theo Hernandez, please. That would be a little bit lovely, like. That would be alright. Bit of Theo Hernandez. But that would be crazy money that we haven't got. Do you think this team is as good as the Keegan years? Let us know what you think as well in the comments about that. And for me, I think it is. Like, I really think it is. Do you think this team is as good as the Keegan years? Definitely. For me, I was a bit too young for the old Keegan years. Obviously, seeing a lot of the DVDs and stuff like that, but and know obviously everything about it. But in terms of me witnessing this in the flesh, I think it is. I mean, Keegan obviously got us, runners up in the league. We should have won it, 12 points clear and all that. Blew it. Finals, didn't do anything with it. Great Champions League nights, but it's becoming similar now. Obviously, we're fourth, not second like Keegan got, and final lost just like Keegan, and then Champions League. Chance to see how it is next year. But in terms of the quality of the pitch, for me, when you look at that Newcastle team under Keegan, it was amazing, the entertainers and stuff. But last year, we were entertained. Do you know what I mean? Are you not entertained? Yes, I am. With Bruno and Isaac and Almiron's form last year and Trippier coming in, Botman, everything like last year was unreal, man. So, yeah, I mean, it's right up there for me. Let us know what you think. Shout out Brandon for becoming a YouTube member. Hope you're doing well, mate, over there in the old Holland. Still need to take you up on that offer, actually, mate, if they're coming over, don't I? I'll take that up. Hopefully, I was going to say hopefully we draw a Dutch team, but I don't think there's any Dutch. Is there any Dutch teams, Brian, in the Champions League this year? Gutted that Ajax have not qualified, because it is nice and easy to get from Newcastle, Amsterdam, on the DFTS ferry or fly, nice and close, and then on the Champions League for the first time in ages. So good. I mean, Newcastle, the Geordies taking over the dam, it would have been fantastic. But cheers, Brandon, mate, for becoming a member, and I hope you're doing good. Let us know if you're coming over next year, Brandon. Me and Brandon had a good time at Brighton away a couple of seasons ago, so hopefully you get yourself back, our lad. Richard, cheers, Matty, lad. Always love the shows. Nice one, Richard. Ricardo says, hi, ma'am. I'm not Ricardo's mom, but hi to Ricardo's mom anyway. Hayden would be ideal for Luton Town. Very good shout from Jimmy, that. I like it. Chelsea, Villa. What is your top four for the upcoming season? Again, these questions need to be asked really after the transfer windows and stuff like that. But right now, I'll go City, Arsenal. I think Chelsea make it in there. And then Newcastle. I think Chelsea and the Poch, I think they're going to have a good season. And they've got no European competition, so they can completely focus on that. That's why Arsenal did well, didn't they, last year? I mean, that they got knocked out of the Europa, and they're still blew it. You know what I mean? Brandon's saying that Feyenoord in the Champions League. They're saying Newcastle got good history now with Feyenoord, so we'll get Whistle over. Where can you be found before the games at the Cellar Cup? Just in and around Shiraz Bar, really. We'll be in and around Shiraz Bar, the usual fan cam spot. Bro, Pulisic joining AC Milan was surprising. That's a good move for Pulisic, to be fair. Hasn't worked out from England. Chelsea took a huge hit on it. 18 million for him, and they spent, was it 60 million or something they spent on him, or was it 50? Crazy loss on him, but a player that was being linked with Newcastle. Eddie Howe tried to sign him last January on loan. Chelsea wouldn't give him. So, yeah, good luck to Pulisic, the American soccer LeBron James. LeBron James is soccer. Good luck. Notto from Leeds is a real pest. Notto would be a great sign. I would mind Notto. What else we got? Want Chiesa on loan and turn at left back. I tell you what, if we could get like a Chiesa on loan with an option to buy, how good would that be? Any news on Champions League font? Nope. I was in the club shop. If you haven't seen that vlog of the third kit launch the other day, check that out after this video ends. Got the new third kit the other day, waiting in the queue, 9 a.m. One of the first to get it, you know what I mean? Fresh off the press. And big fan of it. But I did ask the lad who was doing the Champions League badge for us. What's the crack with the hold up on getting the Champions League font on the back of your shirt? And it's just there's still waiting approval from UEFA. I really want to know why it's taking so long. I just don't get it. Obviously, anyone in the Champions League can customize the back of the shirt for the numbers and the lettering, and we're still waiting. So I hope it's bloody good. If it gets approved, I want to see it. What the hell is taking so long? You know what I mean? People are saying, is it because is it red numbers like the Premier League ones because they don't allow that in the Champions League? So we're having to do something differently, or having to put a square on there because last time Newcastle played in the Champions League, it was on the back. It was like a square, wasn't it? So the stripes were blocked out. The square came on. I just remember like the 9 for Shearer. So, yeah, for me, it's taking a while, and hopefully it won't much longer because we want to get that done. Go through the rest of your comments now. Brandon's asking when the Champions League draw will be. It is on the 31st of August. I think it's 5 p.m. 5 p.m. on the 31st of August, I believe. Larry's saying that my Barnes is, and he said Madison there. Larry's saying that Harvey Barnes is number 15. They put him on the Philly steps. Gordon's taking Maxi's 10 and tonight taking 8, says Jack. I wouldn't be surprised at that at all. That's what I said. Bella Kotchuk would be a signing from Feyenoord. Feyenoord, because Brandon's comment was underneath there about Feyenoord being in there in the Champions League Dutch team. Bella Kotchuk would be a fine signing from Southampton, so a fine signing, Feyenoord. So it's all getting close. And obviously, how did I forget about Feyenoord? Because that is where Yankuba Minef is obviously went. You know what I mean? Yankuba Minef has went straight on loan to Feyenoord and straight in to the Champions League. So he's doing well. He's doing well. Gary, who's a member. Thanks, Gary, for being a member. Another good show, mate. Cheers. Thanks very much, Gary. Wow, we've been going an hour and 8 minutes. 700 people still tuned in. Thanks very much. So please do give us a like and subscribe. That hour and a bit has flew by. So we'll get into some more chats and then we'll read out. I've had Harvey Barnes' statement ready here for an hour and 8 minutes. And we've got loads to talk about still. Loads of other transfer rumours you can see on the bottom of your screen. What's the latest on Livramento? Who's next? I look towards the Aston Villa game tonight at midnight. There's a lot to go through, people. So stay tuned. Keep involved. It's good to have you with us. So let's get on it. What else we got in the chats? So Rico Lewis from Man City on loan. Well, could he be the young left back that is being touted as signing for Newcastle? Because, Pete Graves of Sky Sports did say that Newcastle are in the market for a young left back on loan. Obviously, the obvious one is Lewis Hall that we'll get into soon. He's been heavily linked over the last couple of days. But another member there, thanks very much, is saying Rico Lewis from Man City. That would be a great signing. But Rico Lewis actually got some decent game time for City last year, especially in the Champions League. So, yeah, we'll wait and see. 10 the items saying, will you be on more DR Sports Show, Matty? Yeah, sure I will be. I'm sure I will be. Great always link up with DR and, AGT, Cop TV, Flex, Robbie, big them all up. Love seeing the lads. And, hopefully we'll get down London again in the new up-and-coming season. I'm sure I will, because let's be honest, Newcastle are a hot topic, and I was on the show when we were shy. So, of course, I'll be on it now that we're good. But big it up, 10-8. You're always on DR as well in the chat. So let them know. Every time there's a show on 10-8, you says, where's Matty? Yeah, get the Magpie channel back on. Because obviously the only thing is getting down to London and that, innit? So, but yeah, I'm sure there'll be plenty of stuff coming up with DR very soon. I want blue numbers in the Champions League. Will look phenomenal. I tell you what, I'm with you on that. When did we have blue numbers? Was that like 05? I like them blue numbers. I'm getting a bit bored of the red numbers now. I am. So, bring out the blue one. Gold ones. Remember the gold ones in 06? Class. Kane to Bayern, just been reading an article, his misses. Well, I know, it's mad. I really hope this happens. I really hope Kane gets himself for Germany and Shearer can preserve that goal scoring record for a bit longer. If anyone can help Sean out here, because to be honest, mate, the first time I've been at the training ground this week for Harvey Barnes' medical was the first time in about 10 years. So I'm not even sure what time, but next week, well, obviously let us know what the dates are, mate, because they're in America next week. So if you're on about next week, as in Monday tomorrow, there's not going to be anyone there, pal, unfortunately, because they're all in America. So, yeah, but in terms of the training ground, I don't know. I think if I remember or to guess, I think they go in about like 10, 11, and then they come out at like 2, 3, and some of them stay a bit longer now. And I don't know, mate, I'll be honest with you. I can't remember. Ian crack open another Stella. And now this one's running low. Like, this Stella's running low, to be fair. So we might have to get the old missus to drop one off, to be fair, since we're still going strong. And we're catching up, to be fair. We're catching up with the comments now. We're not too far behind. What are we on? 6:11. I'm on 6:08 at the minute, so that's good. 3-1-2 in the Neatsies is Chicken Oriental. See, people are getting it wrong. It looks like Minter, but it's actually, disappointingly, it's pronounced Minef. I know it doesn't look it, but it's obviously spelled Minter, like you've spelled it there, but it's not pronounced Minter, it's pronounced Minef. Disappointing, because obviously you wanted to say, mint and that, but yeah, it's a Yankuba Minef. Great show, love the tune. Oh, that must be a special delivery now, is it? Thank you very much. Lovely stuff. Nice delivery there. Thank you. Blue Numbers was the first Northern Rock kit around 2003. It was. Yeah, it was. Good stuff. This season looking like a dogfight for top 6. It is like. Definitely think Hall from Chelsea will be a good show. Tonight will be a tough game. Be a really tough game. Be interesting to see who's playing for Villa as well. Be interesting to see who the teams are, because as Dylan's saying, team prediction tonight, and I've actually caught up with the comments. So it only took us an hour and 13 minutes, but I've eventually caught up. It's hard because it just skips through a lot of them, but keep your comments coming in. Team prediction tonight. I think we'll go strong, to be fair. We went quite strong against Rangers, didn't we? But I think you'll expect to see the likes of Tonali and Bruno and that start again. Maybe will Wilson start, and could Gordon get one? Or, and then maybe Barnes off the bench. I think we'll put out a strong team tonight. I do. And I think it's, you kind of take pre-season too seriously and you wouldn't really want to. But when there's a little summer series up for grabs, you're trying to promote the club overseas, and these games are being shown everywhere, and you're playing the likes of Chelsea and Brighton and Villa. Those are teams that are pushing top 6 now, apart from Chelsea last year, bottom half. But next season they will. So yeah, it's going to be a good one tonight. I think we'll play a decent side. So some good comments there on the old beer service. I'm jealous of your beer service. Oh, it's good, mate. Can't I? It's a good one. Loving the delivery service. And Gary, who's a member, another timely delivery from the legend that is Mike. It was very timely, wasn't it? It was very good timely. I like it. That's class. Quicker than Deliveroo, said Ian. I love it. Good stuff. She's a good one. She is a good one. Pope and Willock back to fitness. Pope should be back now. I think surely Willock's not going to be too far behind. People are talking about Matoma. Would you take Matoma? I would absolutely love Matoma, but imagine how much Brighton are going to charge for Matoma, because the charge of, look at that, Caicedo wants to move. Everybody wants Caicedo, but they're wanting like 100 million for him, man, after one good season. It's mental. Absolutely mental. I like John there as well. Just taught the wife. The wife's not happy because I taught the Ben to get my cans out of the fridge now. Nice one. Joshua on how 5th gets you Champions League. It's a legacy team. If a legacy team finished 5th, so they will win a place in the Champions League. Past winners are teams that have been in the Champions League for years. So essentially, that's a way to protect your likes of Chelsea, who haven't got Champions League this season, but they will get Champions League next season. So yeah, it's just protecting the big boys, isn't it? Really. So if Newcastle finished fifth, we wouldn't get Champions League, would we? Because we're not classed as a legacy team. Let's get fourth then. Let's get fourth again. You know what I mean? No doubt about it. We're just gonna have to get fourth again. Joshua, your missus is a Newcastle fan too. Of course she is, mate. She is. She's not from here, but she's now converted. She is a converted Geordie now. And she's definitely a Newcastle fan now. Right now that I'm caught up with the comments, what we can do is make our way through the topics. Right. So obviously the big one today that was announced just a couple of hours before this show started was Harvey Barnes is signed for Newcastle United on a 5-year deal in the region of £39 million. Other people are saying it's 43. Ben Jacobson that's saying it's 40, rising to 43. So, yeah, Barnes is done. He's in America. He's flew straight out of Philadelphia. He's met the lads at the team hotel. He's done his first interview with the club, and he is in line to make his debut at midnight tonight against Aston Villa in the Premier League Summer Series. So it's all happening. It's all happening. The 25-year-old is signed. He's now a Magpie. Obviously, you've seen on the Magpie channel the other day that he was at the training ground, had his medical done, and now the club have officially announced the signing of the winger, the third signing of the summer, if you're counting Yankuba, who's obviously went straight on to Feyenoord. Then, of course, the main man, Sandro Tonali. So, what else we got then? Obviously, we talked earlier about Harvey Barnes signing from Leicester, where he's been through his whole life. He's got the Leicester Academy since he was 9 years old. He's one of their own. During his time at the Foxes, he's clocked up 187 first-team appearances and won the FA Cup. So let's not forget about that. He's had European experiences, playing in the Europa League and the Conference League with Leicester City, and he's also a cup winner. So it's another cup winner we've had in the dressing room. A few years ago, we had nobody in the dressing room at Newcastle who knew how to win a trophy. And now you've got Trippier in there who's won leagues, and the likes of Barnes as well joining now, and obviously Tonali. There's two signings this summer have both won big tournaments. So one cap for England, and he mentioned in his interview with Newcastle United today that Harvey Barnes is aiming to break into Gareth Southgate's plans to get himself an England spot. So that's one of his goals. But he did say, he is focused on the tune first and foremost. Barnes actually had his best ever season last year in the Premier League, scoring 13 goals. That's a high for him. And, when people are saying, Barnes was questioning it, or saying it's a bit underwhelming, Harvey Barnes, in the last 3 seasons, the only Newcastle player to score more goals than Harvey Barnes in the last 3 seasons in the Premier League is Callum Wilson. Nobody else for Newcastle has scored more goals than Barnes in the Premier League in the last 3 seasons than Callum Wilson. So that puts a lot of faith into me as well, That does give me a lot of faith with his input that he can have on the wing for assists and goals. What has Harvey Barnes been saying about his move to Newcastle then? He's delighted. It's an amazing club, and for me, it's a massive opportunity to come in and be involved in a successful team that's doing exciting things. So I'm absolutely buzzing to be here. I think it's an attacker's dream to come into a team like this. It's high-paced, it's physically demanding, but you can see the rewards of that with the chances and the goals scored. I certainly think I'll suit the style. Eddie Howe on Harvey Barnes, he has said, Harvey is an exciting talent who I've admired for a long time, so I'm delighted to welcome him to Newcastle United. He is strong, quick, and very good technically, and he showed last season in particular that he has an eye for goal from wide positions. He will add a different element to our play, and we look forward to working with him as we prepare for the season ahead. So that was a quick glimpse of what Harvey Barnes has been doing and saying for Newcastle United in his first interview, bigging the club up. He was really bigging up the area and seeing how much he was enjoying the place when he came, and he was sold on it and everything else, So Harvey Barnes, he's buzzing with a move. Eddie Howe's buzzing to have him. And fair play to him. He's put a nice post out on Instagram as well. I won't read out his statement. It's massive, but it's a nice slideshow of images from him playing as a kid for Leicester in that blue shirt, and then all the way now. So, yeah, good stuff, Harvey Barnes. Good to see him now as a Geordie, and people are saying he will be number 15, whether that's just for pre-season or permanently. We'll wait and see. But yeah, £39 million deal for Harvey Barnes. And like I said earlier, I think it's a quality signing, and it's great that he's straight off there into America and he's ready for the game tonight. He is available to play tonight, so it's a quick turnaround for Harvey Barnes, and he slots straight into the plan. So, yeah, Harvey Barnes, Newcastle United, done deal. There it is. There's no what you think exactly for Leicester, but for me, very good signing. 5-year contract. Not sure what his wages are, but he will be earning good money now. And yeah, I'm very pleased with Harvey Barnes coming in. This was a quality chant the other day at Glasgow. This was going around the stadium. Good stuff. I still prefer the dance for Tonali one, though. People asking again, am I watching the Villa game later? Yes, we're staying up for the Villa game. There won't be a watch-along, but yeah, I'll be watching the Villa game, I reckon. Midnight kick-off, though. It's a late one for a Sunday night, innit? Gary saying Bonds said he wants to play the night. Need jet lag for war, Bondsy. Doesn't feel jet lag, does Bondsy like? Doesn't feel it. Not fussed by it. Straight off the plane, straight doing interviews, straight on the pitch. Loves it. Do you think Bruno and Tonali are always going to start together? I can see Eddie rotate them, to be honest. No, they'll definitely be starting together, yeah. Definitely be starting together, I can guarantee that. Bruno and Tonali will be our midfield 100%. So, live stream at 12:30, Nate says 2 lads. Not tonight, but maybe next Saturday. Newcastle play Brighton, I think, is it next Saturday? So we could be playing a nice little live watch along next week. So we'll wait and see for that one. Havoc, thumbs up, folks. Nice one. Make sure you are giving this video a like if you haven't already, and do subscribe to the Magpie Channel TV. Thank you. 1 hour, 22 minutes in, 600 people tuned in. Thanks to everyone that is involved. Next topic, who's next? All right, who is next then? Now that Tonali's done, now that Harvey Barnes is done, we've still got over a month left of the transfer window. 1st of September it closes. Tino Livramento. That's the main target for Newcastle United as it stands. Over the weekend, it just came out that a £30 million bid was rejected by Southampton. Rejected a £30 million bid for a right back who just came back from an ACL injury. Yes, he's highly rated. They really want to keep him. They're in the Championship now. I'm very surprised that they have rejected that £30 million bid. I really thought that's a very, very reasonable offer. I think it's a sensible one. I think I thought it was as high as we were going to go. I couldn't see we would go much higher than 30. I thought, we would even go into 30. We started off with 20, then 22, 25. Now we're at 30. I don't know. Apparently, we are still in talks. Sky Sports are saying that we are still in talks to sign Tino Livramento. The deal's not dead. It's not like when Southampton rejected the 30 million, we're like, right, doesn't matter, we're done, moving on to other targets. We are still in talks to sign Livramento from Southampton, but 30 million, rejecting 30 million. Very surprised at that. I really am. And how much higher will we go? Because you've got the likes of TalkSport saying that they are demanding 50 million. 50 million. There's no way we pay 50 million for Tino Livramento. No way. I'll be surprised if we go above 35. And even that, I think that's a lot. I think anything more than 30 odd is a lot for Tino Livramento. Yes, he's a really good player, bags of potential. He won Chelsea's Academy Player of the Year a couple of years ago. He had an amazing first season at the Saints. He's been out for a long time, though. He hasn't started a Premier League game in over a year. Yes, he's made sub appearances at the end of last season, but 30 odd million for, I don't know. I think it's a bit, especially for when obviously we know we want the left back. I'm sure the plan now is to move Trippier to left back and sign Livramento and start him at right back. It has to be, because there's no way on our strict budget that we're on, when we've had to wait for the St. Maximin sale to sign Harvey Barnes, and we can't afford this player, and we're not going to go in for Dior because of FFP and all this sort of thing. Or we're really going to pay 30 million for someone to sit on the bench? No. Is Livramento going to come and sit on the bench? No. So it's as if we've switched focus from your Cucurellas, your Kieran Tierney's, your left backs, and we're focused on Livramento, because I know Eddie Howe and Dan Ashworth are huge fans of Livramento, and they see him as a future England international. So they really want to tie him up now. They were thinking, Southampton, it's a way of getting a good deal because of their relegation, but Southampton are hanging on. They've still got Ward-Prowse. They haven't sold him. Everyone thought he was going to go. They've still got Salisu. They've still got Bella Kotchuk. They've still got Livramento. And what's the other one? Perot. They're not selling quick, Southampton, so I'm surprised. But we'll see. But Livramento, we are still in talks. Be interesting to see how much we go up. If Southampton won 50 million, any chance we pay that? I'll be surprised. Imagine eyebrows will be raised if we spend 40 million on Livramento, I think, because 80 million that would be on Livramento and bonds. 80 million on Livramento and bonds. That shows how crazy the market is, I suppose, more than anything. But yeah, Livramento bid was rejected over the weekend. You can see on the bottom of your screen there, 30 million from Southampton, and we are still in talks. Speaking of left backs, then, Pete Graves from Sky Sports did say that we are interested in a young left back in on loan. Now, we had people in the chat earlier saying, is that Rico Lewis from Man City, or is that Lewis Hall? Lewis Hall is the one that is really linked. I've just seen Toon Lad there commenting Fresneda. Fresneda was linked with Arsenal and Newcastle last year, and apparently he's going to Bournemouth now, so that's a bit of a downgrade. But Fresneda, the young Spanish left back, I'd be in favour of that, definitely. It was someone we came close to signing last summer, and his club decided to keep a hold of him. But he's in talks with Bournemouth at the minute, and like I see, he was linked with Arsenal. Bit of a step down, no disrespect for Bournemouth. But Lewis Hall is the main one that has really been linked over the last couple of days. The Chelsea left back, the young lad who is actually a Newcastle fan because his dad is from Newcastle. His dad is a Newcastle fan, so there's a link there. Lewis Hall, everyone was going mad on Twitter because he does follow Newcastle on Instagram and stuff, and he is a fan. And I'll tell you what, I think that would be a brilliant signing. I would be surprised if we could get him in on loan to buy option. Maybe Chelsea would want that included. I'd be very surprised if Chelsea, who, let's face it, will look at Newcastle now as a top four rival, would sell us one of their best young players, or loan, either way. That being said, it is Chelsea. They have so many options. They've got Chilwell, they've got Cucurella, they've got left backs. They've got every position, haven't they? They've got loads of them. Well, they've had a bit of a sale this summer, to be fair. They've got rid of a few, but they've still got a lot of players in every position. So maybe that could be a reason why they decide to let Lewis Hall go. I mean, they're not scared of releasing young talent. They got rid of Salah, they got rid of De Bruyne, got rid of Lukaku, then brought him back. So it's Livramento, another one. It's not one that they're bothered about. So I guess they would sell, but they'd probably prefer not to be against us. But I tell you what, if Lewis wants to move, Eddie Howe likes him. That'll be a very good sign. I really like Lewis Hall. He's exactly what Howe wants as a left back. Athletic. Really gets up and down that flank. He's a really good delivery of the ball as well. Really good crosser, So he offers a lot, Lewis Hall, and it would be a very good signing. So yeah, I'd be pleased with Lewis Hall. Let's see what you just see in the chat about Hall. Brian would love Hall, but Chelsea no chance. Chelsea have 10 left backs more than us. Lewis Hall will be filthy. Do you think we will always have the Newcastle tax added on our transfer targets? Definitely. We've seen that with Diaby. We've seen it with everyone. Everyone is adding on the council tax. Yeah. So yeah, I think Lewis Hall, everyone's in agreement, would be a very good signing. What else is up on the topics on the bottom of the screen? And I think it is, of course, Alan St. Maximin. So over the weekend as well, Maxi's medical was apparently getting wrapped up. People were saying it was in London. And then there was mixed reports, but yeah, his Saudi medical there to Al Hilal has been done. It's underway. It's getting there. However you want to say it. I didn't really want to talk about the Saudi medical for Maxi because we haven't had any real concrete. I was hoping we'd hear something about it where I knew it was definitely done. It's been a lot of Twitter rumors and stuff that it's been done, but it is looking that way. It's looking that way that it's a matter of time before St. Maximin seals his move to Saudi Arabia because you look at it and the Bonds deal was announced today. I think it's a matter of time before Alan St. Maximin Saudi Arabia gets announced, and that's good, really good business for for them. They're getting Maxi in at good money for me. They had this whole thing where they're saying that teams in the Premier League are objecting to it, saying it's not fair, he shouldn't be allowed to go, and whatnot. But because of the owners own each other, it's a load of crap. For me, 30 million is very much fair market value, and they're getting a very good deal, I think. And then Max will get a good wage. Everyone's happy. So, matter of time before Al St. Maximin to Saudi. I think that'll probably be announced tomorrow. I think that'll get done tomorrow. Al St. Maximin to Al Hilal or Al Ali. I keep forgetting which one it is. But yeah, Al St. Maximin to Saudi Arabia. Medical done nicely. I'm not sure what his medical like, to be fair, because bloody hell, he's injured more times than not, isn't he, Al St. Maximin? So he's medical. I'm sure it'll be fine though. Good luck to Al St. Maximin. Listen, I've compared him to Barnes. I think it is an upgrade. I think it is an upgrade bringing in Harvey Barnes. But at the same time, Al St. Maximin was amazing for us, especially in the dark days, really. I see amazing. I would put amazing and inconsistent in the same sentence is the best way to describe Al St. Maximin. But he was one of our only beacons of light, wasn't he, in those dark days under Steve Bruce? It was literally the only plan to win a football match for those seasons was give the ball to Al St. Maximin and hopefully he can take a few players on, score or put it on a plate for the likes of Wilson. And he did that a lot. He was really good for us, Max. He was a maverick. He was a bit of a cult hero. He had a good relationship with the fans and whatnot. And yeah, I think he's been a really good servant, Maxi, for Newcastle. But it is time to move on. I think now under Eddie Howe, under this system, completely makes sense. And for me, I'm very happy with Harvey Barnes coming in instead. Right then, people, we've been going for over an hour and a half. We've had loads of chat with you in the comments. We've got through the main topics that you can see on the bottom of your screen there. Let's have another 5 minutes or so, 5-10 minutes. We'll round it off. So keep your comments coming in, and then we'll sign out on this fine Sunday afternoon, which, remember, midnight tonight, Newcastle United start the Premier League Summer Series in America. So the real preseason kicks off now with the preseason tournament. We're playing loads of preseason games this year, to be fair. We played Gateshead, played Rangers. We're playing 3 in a week this week, starting tonight. And then we're playing 2 over the weekend of the 5th and 6th of August. So we should be nice and fit and ready for the new Premier League campaign, which is what you'd expect for Eddie Howe's system. Jamal Lascelles touched on it that it was a really tough pre-season. We're knackered, but that's what you'd expect. And Eddie Howe, he said it's grueling, it's intense. And that's what you want. Need Brucey kebabs getting dished out and days off and that. You know what I mean? This is serious now. It's professional. So it's what you want. But yeah, Aston Villa tonight. Be a tough game. Harvey Barnes, could he make his debut? Looking forward to it. Midnight kickoff live on Sky Sports. And obviously for Newcastle United over there in America, it's a 7 p.m. kickoff. So, and then the players themselves were saying, it's been really hard out there because the weather's been mad. It's been thundering and that as well, they said, but he says the pitches haven't been great quality is what Howe was saying. And he was saying the heat has been obviously ridiculous. If it wasn't boiling hot and sweating, it's then raining and thundering. So I tell you what, I wouldn't mind complaining about with some boiling hot heat right now because the weather is miserable in Newcastle and has been for weeks. Just rain all day, every day. I can't remember the last time I've seen sunshine. It feels ages. I'm sick of it. So I wouldn't mind some sunshine, some heat, to be fair. I'd rather be in Philadelphia right now, sweating in front of a fan than in bloody rainy Newcastle, I'll tell you that. But yeah, Aston Villa tonight, midnight. Let us know what you think about that game, how you think that'll go. Let's have a look. What's happening with Ryan Fraser, says Montana Prime. Wee man. No one's seen him for months. He's just, obviously the last we've seen was he was training with the under-21s back end of last season, and then no one's seen him pictured or anything for months. I'm not even sure if he's alive. I mean, is he just like traveling the world or something, like Wee Man Adventures, like around the world in 80 days with Wee Man, Ryan Fraser? I don't know what's happening. No one knows where he is. Obviously, we tried to chuck him in with the Livramento deal at Southampton. The first offer was 18 million plus Ryan Fraser, and they obviously said 18 million plus what? I mean, so it's just 80 million, then, is it? Because nobody wants Ryan Fraser. Honestly, I can't even think of a championship team that would want Ryan Fraser I think for him being Scottish, he should just gone back to Scotland, just gone back to the SPL, play for a mid-table Scottish team, or just go to America or something. He should be there already he might be there on holiday. He's not with the Toon Players in Philadelphia. He's at Disneyland with his family, and he can't even get any of the rides. He's that small. But for me, I would wait and see for Ryan Fraser. Newcastle are going to try and get rid of him. It's just lack of suitors really in it. We're trying to get him off the books permanently. He'd probably end up on loan to Macclesfield or something, Hibernian or something. You know what I mean? Like, for me, if I was him, I would just go off in the sunset. Go and play in Australia, something like that. Go and play for Melbourne Jets or whatever they're called. You know what I mean? Stephen Taylor manages one of the teams out in Australia, doesn't he? Just can't do that, mate. Can't chill out because his fitness is crap, his form's crap, he's been crap for ages. Ryan Fraser's just doing out, chilling, living the dream, huh? You know, nice pay pack. Yeah, honestly, man. More, could we get Kaiser on loan? I think if you're going to get Kaiser on loan, you'd have to guarantee Juventus maybe a buy option at the end of it. I don't think they would let him go. Actually, you know, I think Kaiser on loan could be an option, and what an option it would be, because obviously Massimiliano Allegri, the Juventus gaffer, has really fallen out with Chiesa. He's no plans. And Juventus are looking to sell. That's the key, though, sell. They want 40, 50 million euros for him. Not sure I would pay that this window. Now, on loan, though, what in the ideal world would be if you could get Chiesa in on loan and see if he scores 10 goals or makes 10 goal contributions, or even if you just fancy it, you say, right, we'll give you 40 million next summer. Sound. That would be the perfect scenario, but we'll wait and see where the Chiesa on loan would be class. Because obviously the people are worried that the right-hand side is still a bit bare, with obviously Murphy and Almiron being the options. Chiesa, that French centre-back, I think he's starting about De Sarzi and Fresneda done. I think I would really like to go back in for Fresneda, you know. I really would. After last time, I was excited for him. So, yeah, bring in Fresneda. And it's an option. I think, but you can let me know, because I don't want to come off and have a look on Google or Twitter or whatever, but I'm sure the other day they were saying that Fresneda was in talks with Bournemouth. So 15 million, was it? Get involved. Do you reckon Arsenal will challenge for the top again this season, or someone else gives City a push? I don't think they will. Nah. I'm in two minds about Arsenal now. Part of it is thinking, well, they've signed Rice and that. Obviously, brilliant signing, but then who they're going to let go, and Havertz, I don't rate that signing at all. They're in the Champions League again now. I'm in two minds whether that'd be like, yes, Arsenal will do well and finish top four, or they will flop and Arteta will be sacked. I'm very tempted to make a bold claim and say Arsenal will flop next season, Arteta will be sacked. I'm really Arteta next season has got to deliver. They've spent so much money now. I can't remember the figures, but they have spent an absolute fortune, and he's been hugely backed over the last few years now, Mikel Arteta. And one FA Cup, which was in his first few months, they have got to have a really good season next year. And they've got to win something. Not just a good season. Second again isn't going to do well in a run. They've got to do well next year. Arsenal, I can't see them challenging City. Yeah, I'm gonna go out there and say they're not going to make top four. And Arsenal's going to get sacked. Arteta's going to get sacked from Arsenal. That's my... Arsenal are not going to make top four. Arteta's going to get sacked. There you go. Last few comments then, people. Please do subscribe and like if you have not already. Isaac can do a maxi job. You certainly can't. Rainer's wank. Solid comment. Nothing but the truth. Poor Tonali must be regretting how crappy weather. He must he'll be buzzing. He's out in the States, I tell you. Good job he's not seeing this non-stop. Even though he was at Gateshead, like, he's seen the bloody drenched running track. God. Fraser at Aberdeen on loan feels like something that could happen. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Newcastle Jets in Australia. Get it done. Newcastle, Ryan, you won't know the difference. You won't know the difference. Opinions on Villa getting Diaby. Talked about this earlier on the stream. It will be difficult for you to find that bit, to be fair. So just quickly, very good signing. Jealous. 50 million. Should have got involved. However, I'm happy that we've got Tonali and stuff, so I'm not going to say all that. Really hoping that he flops big time, because I can't be arsed with the seeing him on Match of the Day taking on everyone in scoring worldies. And Villa could be serious next year. Could be serious. Arteta will be sacked and he will get the Everton job written in the stars. Right then, we're caught up with the comments, people. Get the last ones in. We will do this for another minute or two. Get your last chance saloon for a couple of comments. Thanks again to all the new members that were had throughout this show. David Smith, Geordie Gaza, Christopher Laidler. I feel like I'm on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire here, reading out the names. Gareth Rothery, Ian Joseph, and Brandon as well. Thanks very much, everyone who has joined and became a member. That's great to see. Again, we'll be bringing out new things for the members. So you can become a member by hitting the link in the video description. There'll be lots of new incentives and benefits, shall I say, of becoming a member on the YouTube channel. So thanks to everyone who did that. Thanks to over 500 people that are still watching 1 hour, 41 minutes in. It's been a pleasure. It's been a good Sunday afternoon spent with you lot. And it's been a fun one. It went so quick, nearly 2 hours again on this Transfer Talk Live. Remember, every Sunday live at 5 on the Transfer Talk Live show on the Magpie Channel TV. Make sure you get involved. And as always, there will be daily videos next week. Will we have a Livramento training ground vlog? Will we have anyone training ground vlog? We'll be seeing people saying for the tune, St. James Park. We'll be going up St. James Park again to try and capture one of them. Hopefully, we'll be talking about some more signings, the odd outgoing maybe. And of course, we'll be talking about the matches. There's 3 games next week for Newcastle United, starting tonight at midnight against Aston Villa. That one's on Sky Sports. Thanks, everyone, for watching this one. Cheers. Great show, Matty. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Au revoir, Matty, lads. See you next week. You will indeed, Ian. See me next week, Sunday at 5 o'clock. But for now, stay tuned, people, to the Magpie Channel TV. Across the week, you will see plenty of videos coming your way. The best place to be for all your Newcastle United transfer news in general, match reviews, and way, way more. So smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. Give this one a like and enjoy the rest of your Sunday, people. See you later. Ta-ra. Enjoy yourselves. All of that lovely stuff. Take it easy.